Hey everybody, welcome back to Hollyberry Colors. I'm Holly. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm excited because today we're going to do something fun. We're going to color with some Neocolor 2s in Mythical Beast. I haven't colored in this book yet, so this is great for me. And I do enjoy using Neocolors. I've had a few people ask me to do a video on how I color them. And I've also had people ask me to color in Mythographics. So I'm not really killing two birds with one stone here because I still want to do a purely pencil page in a mythographic for you guys as a video. But for now, we're going to just play with some Neocolors in here and we'll just see what happens. You know, we fly by the seat of our pants a lot here when I color. And the page that we're going to color is this one right here. These are hippocampus. Did you know there's also part of your brain called the hippocampus? I don't know the correlation between the two or how that works, but fun fact for the day. Anyway, sorry. Yes, this is what we're going to try to color. I kind of have a general idea how I want to do the colors, and we'll just see what happens. If I mess up, oh well, we'll just make it work and cover it with pencil and call it a day, and no one will ever know except you guys that are watching this video. I won't tell anybody else. It'll be a secret. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, that's the plan for this video. I'm super excited. So grab a drink, grab a snack, get your Neocolors out if you want to follow along, or if you want to write down my color combinations, feel free. If you have any questions or want more specifics on how I do things, I'll try to explain it the best that I can, either with a voiceover or via text on the screen. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to help explain how I do these kind of things the best that I can. So, all right, guys, you ready to roll? Let's color some hippocampuses. So for my Neocolor 2 tutorial, I'm going to start with the sky up here. And we're going to use these four colors. We're using salmon orange, golden yellow, and orangish yellow. Because I want kind of I'm visualizing like a sunrise kind of setting here. I don't know. I just want to do these colors. So, whoop, here we go. Let me zoom you in. Okay. Can y'all see? Is that good? Is that good? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to start with my salmon over here. And I'm just kind of coloring in on the edges. And I'll do this one little part with you and then explain what I'm doing. And actually I'll do this part too. So I'm not pressing super hard. It's kind of like with the pencils. Just kind of lightly coloring in because we can always make it darker. So going around here. And the way that I color these will be able to blend them out pretty nice. Oh my gosh, these are like fish birds. That's crazy. All right. And Mercury's going insane right now. You might be able to hear him. So that's just, you get a little bonus Mercury entertainment. Okay, so that's my salmon. Now I'm going to go in with my orange. And I'm going to do, kind of overlap the salmon a little bit, but not completely. There we go. The great thing about Neocolors is they don't have to be perfect. So we're just kind of zhuzhing in some color zhuzhing in our Neocolors. Okay. Go up here and get this guy, get a little bit of this orange in. Boop. All right, next color is our golden yellow. Add this in, just make a little kind of gradient here. Gonna connect up here to that. We're leaving our last little space here for our final color. I want to leave a little bit there. Gotta just make sure that you're portioning out your area to work with for all your colors. Okay, get our golden yellow up here. Just gonna do a tiny bit since there's not a lot of room. Okay, there we go. All right, and our final color for our sky, my goodness, our clouds, is our orangish yellow. And look what a doofus I am. I tried to sharpen this with my X-Acto knife, and yeah, it looks awful. It looks like, you know, something chewed on it, but it'll still work. I guess I need to get a dedicated sharpener for these guys. I was just trying to be smart and save the shavings to use, you know, for later on and keep them in a little container, and it just didn't work out very well. So here we go, filling in our final color. And this is just our base layer. We're going to go back over and make any adjustments that we need to. So this is about the pressure that I usually color with, and this is the coverage that I'm looking for. I don't want it super dark. I mean, you can certainly do that, but for this instance, I'm not going super hard on my pressure. So now I'm going to take my water brush and a little piece of paper towel here, and I like to use a thinner water brush. You can certainly use, you know, just a regular paintbrush and water to do this. A lot of people do that and recommend it, but I'm just too lazy. So I get my water going, and then I dry my brush off, and then we just start. We're going to go from light to dark. So here we go, starting at the lightest color and going into that salmon. And then I'm dabbing my brush off. So we'll start here, starting in the lightest, small little circular motions. Now here I'm going to dab my brush because I don't want to bring that darker color up into the lighter color. And we're just very carefully activating our colors. I'm trying to not use too much water because I don't want to buckle the paper too much. And I don't want to lighten the colors too much with too much water. So there's that one. And then we'll do this last little part. So again, you know, we're doing lots of dabbing. You don't want to lift up all your color that you just put on the paper. And I mean, this is okay. Here, we'll just kind of blend that down, and we'll let that dry, and then we'll be able to work that out. So here, small, little motions. And the thing with Neocolors is layering, you know, just like your pencils. unless you're super comfortable with it and you want something really dark. I've tried that before, but I found that it leaves kind of a buildup on the paper. So I try to go a little bit lighter with how much color I put on the page at one time. Okay, so here's just our first round. And I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and then we'll come back and do some touch-ups because I want more of the salmon color in there. Okay, so this is dry, and like I mentioned, I want to add more of this color, the salmon. So what I like to do for touch-ups is there's two ways to do this. So I have this little cutting board that I've sacrificed for coloring, and for very light amounts of color, you can kind of color on here and add some water and do some touch-ups to the page. That's one option. Or the other one that I like to do is I'll kind of rough up the flat edge. Oh my gosh, it won't focus. Focus. I like to rough up the flat edge of the Neocolor. And you can also do that on your, your board. So I'll just do that here. And the reason I want to rough it up is to kind of expose the Neocolor because they have a waxy film on them to protect them. And I won't be able to pick any of the Neocolor up, if that waxy barrier is protecting it. So what I do is I'll make sure my water's flowing in my brush. There we go. And then I'm not squeezing the brush, but I am touching the end here. And I know it's out of focus, but there, see, now I have pigment on the brush. And now I can start dabbing it in. I'm going to wipe it off because that's a little more than I wanted. And I'm just going to clean my brush off, and then I'm going to use water to kind of push this out. I'm going to dab and then blend it. So there we go. So now I have more pink in there. And it's a little hard to tell, but it is there. See that compared to the rest. So again, we're going to take our Neocolor. You got to make sure your brush is wet, but it's moist, but not like soaking wet. Okay. You want to make sure you pick up your color. See the color on the brush? I know it's not there. There we go. Okay. So now I'm just going to start dabbing this on. We're going to, once I run out of pigment, there we go. I'm just going to start blending this out. Blending out. And that way we add a little bit more of our pink color in here. And I want a little bit more right there. Add it in. There we go. I'm wiping my brush off. Have a clean brush again. And then we're just going to keep repeating this process. So I'm going to get some pigment on the end here. And we're just Gently tapping and adding color. Okay, then we're gonna start blending it out. Just little taps and little circular motions if you want to work that out. I'm gonna finish this down here. There we go. And I don't want to waste my color, so I'm just gonna move up here because this is all I wanted down here. So yeah, Neocolors are a lot of, seeing that I took too much color off, I want to, it's just, you know, it's a fine line with Neocolors. It's, you got to figure it out. So there we go. There's that done. Then I'm going to, so yes, lots of cleaning brushes too, because you don't want to get color where you don't want it to be. Add a little bit up here. And there, I've kind of run out of my color, so I'm going to go back over here and just work on making it look pretty. Our pretty little sunrise clouds here. There we go. Working the color out. And I got it too high up, so I wiped my brush off and then I used my clean brush to kind of bring the color back down. So here we go. I want a little bit up here. Cleaning the brush off because I got a little more up here than I anticipated. And I'm just tapping to kind of blend it out. There we go. And I'm going to come back up here and lighten this up a smidge with the clean brush. Okay. So there's the next step in the process. This is a great way to touch up, deepen your colors. And it's really hard to tell on camera, but it is a lot more pink there. And I may even go back and do it one more time. Let me see how, yeah, see, this is already pretty much dry down here. So I'll just go back and do it one more time. You can do this as much as you want to get your colors as dark as you need them to be. Okay, I'm gonna come right here. This color is pretty, it's pretty opaque. There we go. Add some in down here. I want this a little darker. Oops. So just tapping the end. There we go. Making our pretty little cotton candy clouds. Do this up here. But yeah, I love Neocolors. They're the best, guys. Definitely my favorite water medium, unless I get Albrecht Dürer. Someday I would love to get some Albrecht Dürer and play with those. I do have watercolor pencils, but they're Color. I mean, they're great, but I've heard that Albrecht Dürer are the bee's knees when it comes to watercolor pencils. So there, that's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that, and we can always add some more details with pencil. I think, you know what, let's try the whites. I'm kind of curious. See if I can lighten up this edge a little bit, but not too much. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my cutting board here, and I'm just kind of roughing up the back side here. And you can save this, you know, you can use this later on to color pages if you want to. So we're gonna play, we're gonna experiment here. I don't know if this will show up or what's gonna happen. Can I please get some pigment? There we go. Okay. So I'm just gently going to tap that there. Okay. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. I know the light is like glaring on the water, guys. I'm sorry, but I will show you. I'll move the page here and show you what it looks like. I gotta figure out my lighting stitch to get it where you can see it. So here we go. Just trying this white out, just playing. Put a little bit up here. Put some over here, why not? Let's add some here. Make sure I get a good coating. There we go. Now you can see it on there. Put some up here. Down here, kind of work it down. And I want pretty obvious areas of white here. Get some more. Okay. All right. So I struggle with these, but I have fun and they work for me. So here we go. This is pretty good contrast for what I'm able to do with Neocolors. Now, I'll probably go back in later and do some linguo to, you know, I'll use a lighter color just to go over the cloud lines there, just to really accentuate that highlight on that side. And, you know, I only have the 40 set of the Neocolors because I wasn't sure I'd like them, but I asked for them for my birthday, and now I really wish I had the 80 set, but I don't. So yes, I think I'm happy with this. I want to keep this light for now, and we'll just see what happens. I'm going to I don't know if I'll zoom you out or not, but I'm just gonna kind of keep coloring all the clouds, and then we will move on to the next step. Yo, editing Holly here, guys. I colored the rest of the clouds just like the first section I did together with you. But the next part we want to do we want to do the hippocampi? The horsey things, or do we want to do the water? Let's do the water. I'm feeling the water. All right, so let me get my colors set up for that and we'll continue on. Okay guys, so I'm gonna start with the water back here in the background. There's all this up here next to the hippocampus. And I'm not gonna worry about this yet. I'm just gonna focus on the water in the background. And these are the 4 colors I'm gonna play with. I'm gonna use ultramarine, cobalt blue, malachite green, and jade green. And these colors are a little bit darker. They're more intense than the colors I used on the sky. So what I'm going to try doing is a little bit different technique than with the sky. I'm going to try to do these lighter because I don't want them to be too dark yet, because I'm not sure how they'll look with this up here. So I'm going to get you zoomed in, and then we're just going to play and see what happens. For the water here, I'm following the same basic idea as what I did in the sky, in the clouds. So we're doing just a basic blend gradient with our 4 colors up here in the water. And we want to blend with our Neocolors before we even activate with the water. And doing both of those steps helps you get a very smooth blend with your Neocolors. I mean, if you don't want a smooth blend, then don't do it. But I like smooth blends. And that's what you're going to see me do here, is just working on blending and creating that gradient with my 4 colors. And later on, we will activate with the water. Okay guys, so this is what we look like right now. Before I add the water, I just wanted to check in with you. So I tried to not go super dark with how hard I pressed the Neocolor to the paper. And I tried to overlap my colors a little bit, just to make sure that we're going to get a good blend, and we'll see what happens. There's like these super tiny parts I'm going to go over. I'm going to do the same way I do touch-ups. Oh my god, I forgot that. Poo-poo. I'll fix that too. But yeah, we're going to do the touch-up technique for that because it's too small and I can't get my axe together and buy a sharpener. I need to do that. And yeah, so let me finish this before I forget about it again. You know, story of my life, and then we will start doing the water on these guys. Okay, so here's our first pass on the water in the background. I really like the cool colors of the water compared to the warmer tones of the clouds there. And now I'm just going to kind of go back through and do my little touch-up method and fill in some areas that I didn't see the first time through or I forgot to get. And we're just going to keep going, guys. So it's kind of right here that I decide to start just adding jade green to all of the water. I wanted to tone down the blue tones a little bit. So I just went over everything with the jade green, and it helped make it a little softer and a little more blended. That's another tip I have. Use your lightest color, and unless it's like a really rich yellow, you can smooth out your Neocolor blends even more or tone down things to make them more subtle. And that's what I'm doing here because that's the look I was going for the background here. Let's tackle this water down here. I think what I want to try is doing the same thing I did up here, but I'm going to add in a couple of other colors. Prussian blue, and turquoise blue. So let's just see what happens. Okay. For this section of the water, I'm going for a very organic look. So you're going to see me do random placements of my colors just to make it visually interesting. And I'm trying really hard to not make like a pattern, I guess, with the colors and just do the same thing everywhere. I mean, I do the same gradient, but I try to vary the placement of my darkest color here. And it just makes it more visually interesting to look at and not so boring since these are waves on the water. Something I wanted to point out here was look at how different the colors look when activated versus not activated. If you're not, you have to swatch your supplies. As annoying as it is, I mean, some people like to just fly by the seat of their pants and live life dangerously and color whatever, but I don't usually do that. I like to have my colors swatched out and know what I'm working with, and that really affects my decisions when I'm picking colors for pages. Okay, There's the first layer on the water down here. I think I'm going to tweak it and add some different colors. I don't know what's going on with these things here. I might color them a light blue. Let's try that, and then we'll add some darker areas with some indigo. Doing our touch-up method and carry on. Are you still here? If you're still here, leave a poop emoji in the comment. So yeah, the white lines in the waves, I didn't end up liking them. I thought I would, I didn't. That's part of the process. So I'm covering them up with the turquoise blue for right now. And I'm just doing the thing where I like to add more contrast and visual interest. And I'm using the Prussian blue to do that. Darken areas of the waves and just continue on. Apparently I'm loving this jade green because I do the same thing down here as I did in the other area of the water. I go back over everything with the jade green just to bring it all together, make it smoother, and yeah, I just like it. I love jade green. Love you, jade green. On this next part, I decided again, I changed my mind again, big surprise, to add jade green to the white line areas over the turquoise blue. And I did the technique where I rubbed some of the Neocolor off on my board. You can see it. And I added a couple drops of water, mixed it all together, and then I'm using my water brush to pick that up off the board and add it to those areas on the paper to get even lighter version of the color. I don't know what to do with these. I feel like there should be a little green. So what the heck, we're just gonna do it. YOLO, guys. Noise filler. Yeah. Wow. So I guess I didn't film talking about the colors for the hippocampus eyes. They're up here on the screen, but we're going for kind of an opal look. I really wanted that purple to green, purple to blue to green kind of feel with it. So that's what we're doing for the hippocampus. So here I've activated my colors with water, and it's not the smoothest blend, but we'll touch it up later and get it looking good. Now I'm going to keep doing the same process with those same colors on the rest of the hippocampus main body parts. I start down here first because this is a little simpler. I'm not quite sure how I wanted to tackle the form of the hippocampus, like with their legs in the front. I wasn't quite sure how to tackle that, so I put that off until last. Here's the part where I really have to start thinking. You see me grab the purple, and then I decide to go to my lime green and start from the top because I feel more comfortable doing that. And I work my way down to the blues and the purples, just kind of trying to feel out where I think the color should go. And I end up being really happy with it. So I'm just going to keep filling in the neck and the head of the hippocampus here, and then we'll start using water to activate. Now I'm tackling the head of the horse, and I decided to go with green on the top and gradient that down to the purples on kind of the jawline of the horse hippocampus. Hello. And I do end up tweaking it, touching it up, moving the colors around a little bit like I do, but I am very happy with the overall placement of the colors on the hippocampus. And now we're going to start activating with water so we can move on to yet the next step. So I'm thinking, just to cut down on video time, I'm going to edit out me using the water brush here because I'm not doing anything exciting. I'm doing the same as I did for all the other parts of the page. We're just activating with water to get our colors on there, and we will move on to touch-ups. At this point, I need a little break, so I decide to switch it up and work on the ship sails. And I can't quite decide what color I want yet. I know I want it to be a super light brown, so I check my colors out. I end up deciding on ochre, and it's darker there than I want it to be, so I'm using the technique where I rub some of the Neocolor onto my board and add the water droplets, like 2 water drops. Mix that together, and then you'll get a super light wash of color. And you'll see that's what I get here, and I'm happy with that. Is that the paper peeling? Oh well. I'm not going to worry about it. It looks fine. Wow, do these octopus tentacles cause me all kinds of problems. I thought that I wanted a more darker, or not darker, warmer color. And I tried the pinks and the salmon, but it just did not work. And I end up adding orange to it at some point just to kind of get it more where I want to be. This is the part of the page that I'm the least happy with, are the octopus tentacles, but luckily they're not a major component of the illustration, so it's real easy to overlook them. So it is what it is. So here's the final process or step in the process for the page, is all the small details. So I'm using ochre to color in the reins on the hippocampus. I use salmon. I just use basically, I try to reuse the colors that I already have. I think the only new color that I really introduce is light gray for the fish, the birdfish in the sky and the fish in the water. So all I'm doing for the rest of the time is just adding some details, and further on I'll try to show, I do some cool stuff like with blues later on I want to show you. It took me forever to decide how to color the mane of the hippocampus because I just couldn't quite nail a color down, but I decided to go warm with these. And so I used my warm tones like for my clouds. I believe this is the orangish yellow. Don't quote me. So I do that, and then you'll see later on I end up doing cooler colors that kind of match the hippocampus for their little fins on their backside and their tails. This is the part I was talking about where I take my turquoise blue and I end up adding that to the mane of the hippocampus with the warmer colors, and it just looks so cool. I love it. I guess that's a theme with me, is I love blues and oranges together and mixing them, you know? Oh well. I also use the turquoise blue on the sails of the ship later on, and it looks fab. So, yep. I try adding blue and then I end up adding purple to the octopus tentacles. Still not happy with it. And like I said, I eventually just cover it up with orange and call it a day. Okay, here's one of my favorite parts about the page, besides the hippocampus, is the blue on the sails. I don't know what it is, but it really works for me, and I'm very happy that I decided to go that route with them. I also end up carrying this theme throughout the page, and I use the turquoise blue to add some, interest to the flying fish and the fish in the sea. And I think I add some purple. Oh yeah, there I add some blue to the seashells. Man, it's just, I love it. You know, looking back at these octopus tentacles now, they're not as bad as I thought they were while working on them. But, you know, it is what it is. I made my bed and I gotta lay in it. And I'm still happy with them and the end product, so oh well, it's okay. It's okay to mess up, guys. No worries. Here's where I add final finishing details for the Neocolors. I add the turquoise blue and the periwinkle blue to the little fishies and the sea and the little birdfish, flying fishy thingies in the sky. And then the flags on the ships. And that's it for the Neocolors. So here's me done. I mean, I'm not really done. I still have to add a few more bits and bobs and deal with these freaking octopus tentacles. Ugh. Anyways, sorry. I'm back. Yeah. This was a super fun page, and I will do my little wrap up here in just a second. All right, everybody. Here's our finished hippocampus page. I went off camera a little bit and I just did the last finishing details because I got a little bit tired. But it was basically just the gel pen on the whatever these things are. I added some more Neocolor detail, Neocolors in there just so that the white would contrast and show up a lot better. And I added some white gel pen up here in the clouds because I do like that a lot. So, yep, here's the finished piece, 100% Neocolor and gel pen. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Again, if you have any questions on techniques or need some clarification, just let me know and I'd be happy to further explain or try to help you out best I can. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for hanging out with me again. Appreciate y'all so much. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.